producer's view, you're the best to tell us of the properties of microphones.
I'm not a specialist, but
I believe producers are really kings of the sound, kings and queens of the sound. A producer listens to it. You can get a beat, you can sing on it, kill it, and then give it to the producer. It becomes something else, bro.
Yes. No, but you're right. I mean, that's what happens, or can happen, depending on the producer, of course.
For sure. On a previous episode, I had Zilizopendwa, and I always got to appreciate what producers do. There's Mhongo.
I did Mhongo, yeah.
Oh, Mhongo's a classic. For me, Mhongo will always be.
Thank you.
More classic.
I love that song too. It has a beautiful vibe.
I make sense of life and reality to make aware to the self. For what I get to know, I believe if something is good for me, it will be good for you.
Yeah.
And for Mhongo, it is that song where it's personal, it's for your self journey. And this is what you'll go through, and it's a song I listen to, and I focus back on my goals, remembering who I am, remembering I'm a Mhongo.
Yeah. Yes.
And I have a journey to go.
Brothers selling their souls to please their sisters with gold. I don't wanna be a moron, wanna wake up in a better tomorrow. So I started solo to do something that people would follow. Wake them up from their godoro, shine the power in the sorrows. Wagunduwe kila kasoro, inakuwanga na kichochoro ya kuhepa mamenyororo. One of many lives, oxymoron. Mdogo mdogo, wakani soro. Sasa niko na mbogi na niko na goro. Mdogo, wakani soro. Sasa niko na mbogi na niko na goro. Zoea hii sura, zoea hii voice. Mimi ndiye Mhongo. Zoea hii story, zoea hii song. So niko hapa mapema nifanya tena na tena hata niwe.
I'm glad that you say that, because that was also something that we talked about. It's actually one of the things that I wanted to do with this, because I mean, Kibi, our friend Good Kibi,
yes,
he does many things. He's like an octopus. He's hard to arms in all camps,
Sure.
He does so many things.
Yes,
and I was like, who is Kibi, or how can we profile him as an artist on a single production, on a song?
Yeah.
Where there's nobody. Okay, I sang a bit on it. Disclosure, big disclosure.
You did your producer thing.
I did my producer thing, and I did a few BGVs, but otherwise it's only Kibi singing the whole thing. He wrote the lyrics and everything, we did. And then we was like, okay, we just need a video where it's just black in the background. You don't know where he is, but he's just there. And it's him all the way through. And then he has to talk about being that guy, So we kind of profile him. Here I am. I'm here in the video all alone. I'm singing about me and my adventures.
As you're saying that, I'm just seeing the valley of the shadow of death. Because it's just black. Especially when you said it, you just want black. I was just saying myself, it's like you in my mind in the dark place, and you just have to continue moving.
Also that, I guess there's many layers in it, but also that for me initially, you're right. there's many layers that I even haven't considered yet. So thank you for that.
This is art where people get their own interpretation of what they get to see, and art for this one is what they get to hear. And you see, it always goes back to personal experiences and where it's hitting you.
Yeah.
So man, thank you for this good art.
Yes.
Man,
We're doing it.
Let's hit this. Welcome back to Making Sense of the Beats. Usually, we look at the local industry from the inside out, but today, we're looking at it through a different lens. Our guest today is a producer and a songwriter hailing from Denmark, but his musical heart has been beating in Nairobi for years. He's the man behind the Z Projekt, an ambitious initiative that took classic Kenyan Zilizopendwa hits and reimagined them from a global, modern audience. Please welcome the man who bridges Copenhagen and the 254, Claus Seest. Claus, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
It's wonderful to be here with you today. I'm honored, highly honored.
Likewise.
For sure. From where I get to know Claus from is him producing Kibi's music, Kibi the Freak. I've had him on the podcast. Please go watch the episode. Please subscribe to his music and continue enjoying the music, because today we have a producer from Copenhagen helping us to make sense of the beats. Most people in Denmark aren't naturally exposed to 1960s Kenyan guitar music. How did you get the bug for the Kenyan sound?
Thank you for that. Yeah, you're right. Not a lot of people in Denmark or in Copenhagen knows about Kenyan music. There's not a lot of Kenyans there. There's a small group, but the reason why is actually I'm married to a Kenyan. It was many years ago. So, and being a musician, of course, when I came here the first time, and I was going through, it was back when we had CDs, So I was going through her CDs and finding some Kenyan music and stuff like that. But it was actually the first when I came to Kenya the first time, when I was driving around in taxis or in matatus, I heard that music because they still played it back then, And I was interested also when I went with cab drivers, then I heard now that because I could hear this was not music either from, from 20 years ago. This was music that was older. Some of the cab drivers before Uber. It was the taxis,
For sure, taxis.
The Muzungu, he starts out in the taxis,
For sure.
So, but a lot
actually,
of these taxi
cabs.
Taxi cabs. Excuse me. No, but so then I heard, okay, this is old, and I asked them, so is this Kenyan? Yes, this is Kamba music, they said, or something like that. And I was like, you have to tell me what is the name of what is this, And often they were like, we don't know. We just got some CDs from, and we love this music and stuff like that. But then, of course, met musicians.
Yes, definitely.
Along the way, Abbi Nyinza, who was actually the first person in the music industry I met here.
Awesome.
Many years ago. And I started asking, so this music that I'm hearing, what is this? And then they told me about the Zilizopendwa. And Abbi, he kindly gave me a whole list of songs and CDs with songs on, old songs. And then I just started listening to that. And I loved the style. And immediately, as a musician, I wanted to feel like I need to engage in this. I mean, being fresh off the bat, I don't know what I was doing, but I was just, can I engage in this somehow,
I can imagine if Abbi was your first reference with his wide range of network, wide range of knowledge in music, network to our musicians he's worked with. Man, the bar was set high. And that is very good. I cannot imagine any better person to have been the first for you to...
Me neither. Me neither. And he's been a central point, actually, for many things since.
Awesome.
Because he has the network that he has, and that has been extremely good for me in so many ways. I'm thankful for that, because I've come into a part of the music culture here.
Yeah.
And that's really nice. I mean, I want to engage with... I want to learn new things. You know, I traditionally come from soul, R&B, style, American style music. You know, I've been doing that for a long time as a singer. But a lot of those things are connected to African music, right?
Yeah.
That's actually where it started. so there's many things going back to that, trying to find out, okay, what the rhythms. I've always been fascinating with drums and stuff like that, even though I'm not a drummer. So the African drumming. Where I met my wife, it was many years ago in Ghana when I went to now a Ghanaian drum and dance school for 4 months, directly from Denmark. That was my first visit to Africa ever, was in Ghana. I wanted to try something completely different from Danish music history and culture and stuff like that, right? And boy, was I in for quite a thing. That was quite the experience.
When you went to Ghana, how now did you ever see that's Danish? This is Ghana music, because now every country definitely has different things. Yeah.
I mean, everything. It was not only the music, but everything in culture. I mean, that was
your life and your reality just.
It was my culture shock. Well, you call it that, right? A culture shock. And I didn't realize. Maybe I was a bit slow back then. I don't know. But it took me. It took me 2 months to actually, and I got a big shock, you know.
Yeah.
And it took me a couple of days actually to digest how much of a ignorant I had been before I now realized what was going on. Because I always say to people, my first experience in Ghana, you know, there's many experiences, I'm sure, but my first experience in Ghana was, it was beautiful, everything was nice, people were sweet, it was not that, but I had a very hard time realizing the cultural differences, and that I didn't have to react to it like, this is wrong. In Denmark we do it like this, and why can't you do it? I was really being told back then. but then I realized, and it changed everything in my life. I mean, it changed me completely. I'm still the same person when my friends meet me from back then, of course.
Sure.
But my view on the world and so many other things changed completely.
Why when I usually do this, why when the tagline making sense of life and reality, is because like right from that point, you yourself, you always know in your life your turning points.
Yeah.
You go to here and then you're like, man, you've changed. If you got me yesterday, the day before you'd say that, oh boy, you'd really confuse somebody because you're like, nah, yesterday you said this. I'm like, I know.
Yes.
But let me tell you, today moving forward, it's this now.
No, but you're right. And I was, like I said, I didn't say it, but I was about to say that I always refer previously to people when they asked me, so how was it in Ghana back then? First time in Africa and all these things. And we were at a coast village. We were not in Accra, the main city, the capital, right? We were not in Accra. We were at a coast city called Cape Coast. So it was very local, very simple, you know.
Yeah.
And I tell people in Denmark, for me, when I realized, when the culture shock came, it was like I was landed on Mars. I had landed on Mars. I had nothing to hold on to culturally, the way human interaction, traditions, even facial expressions, how you look into the eyes of it. I mean, you remember, like you also say, Denmark is, roughly said, don't be mad at me, Danes, if you see this, one tribe. We're like one tribe in one country, and we're a very small country, which means that if you haven't been traveling much, and then you travel to a country and a culture that's so different from your own, you'll be feeling like you've landed on Mars, right?
Yeah.
Because why is everything so different?
and if anything, I really want to make that awareness of once you know something, your life is just different, and it's okay. And actually, things are different, and it's okay.
It's better.
And even with this thing of being raised in one place, or you also hear the people who say when you get money and you don't have a family yet, use the money to travel, just to expose yourself to different cultures, different ways of thinking, different.
Yeah.
And when you say that, you see now this is from a different place, and you can actually see the impact of it. You can actually even say like, yo, it took me 2 months.
Yes.
Just to, and I like how even you put it. You have nothing to hold on to. Nothing.
Culturally. Or even how the traffic works. I mean, nothing. There was nothing. I felt like there was nothing. I was such a Mzungu. There was this. It was a very local, nice, small fishing community, by the coast.
Yeah.
Then there was one Shell gasoline station, which was like shining out there, just by the main road. Of course, it was a small fishing village with small markets. There was no big European shops or anything, except
The Shell.
for that Shell, And once in a while, I had to go there with my neck bowed in shame to buy the things I knew from the West, from Denmark, because they had it in that shop,
For sure.
I was terrible.
Wow.
I was terrible. but I think that's for some people it goes. It's a realization. It's the same thing. I think if people move from here who has never maybe been out of Kenya, move to Denmark I was there for 4 months in Ghana, right?
Yeah.
There's some adjustment. There's an adjustment period for everybody.
Oh, for sure.
But it's good. I mean, that moving forward to that now, me and my wife then found each other again.
Awesome.
And got married and all these kind of things. So,
But you met in Ghana.
we met in Ghana. The story is she was a guest student, I was a student from Denmark, and we met and all these kind of things, The story is long. I'll spare you for this for this episode.
No pressure, but again now I'm like, whoa. So this is Ghana. You meet a Kenyan. So now the African plate is, you're getting a good palette of now differences, and like, wow.
Yes.
Even with that, I bet you're like, did you ask her, is Kenya like this when you're in Ghana?
I did, of course, because
Your curiosity is off the roof now.
yeah, and there's many things, and she said no. I'm actually completely surprised being a Kenyan coming now to Ghana, thinking
It must be the same.
yeah, we're in Africa, it's the same thing. But she said no, it's not at all. It's completely different.
Now you're like, whoa. I'm about to go on another trip to another African country. So when did you get to Kenya?
I get to Kenya first time in 2008.
Yeah.
We were married in 2007, and then came the year after, right? Before we came, I've already done a track with my wife in Copenhagen
Okay.
that she now went to shoot a video, because, immigration in Denmark back then, back and forth, it's also a long thing, but she was going back and forth from Kenya to Denmark, had to travel back and forth. And in those, when she went Kenya, she recorded a video for that song. And when I then came back, now we were out placing it, tried to place it on TV station, walking around.
Awesome.
I didn't know anything, and I just said to my wife, you have to find TV stations and stuff like that. So we just walk into the reception at some Citizen TV or others, and like, hey, I'm Claus, and this is my wife. We have done this music, and you like to play it? And they were just in the reception. Yeah, okay, we'll receive it and make a small note. And then they actually started playing it.
Awesome.
After some time. So that's when really I was like, okay, they actually liked what I did with my wife in Copenhagen, in Kenya,
Yeah.
So I got like, okay, I gotta do this some more. And then we connected up with Abbi.
Awesome.
And then it's all, history from there. Many things.
I have so many questions in my mind. I'm trying to catch one, but they're all flying. Tell us about the birth of the Z Projekt. Which music artists have you worked with? Was it difficult to convince Kenyan legends to let a Danish producer tweak their masterpieces?
That's also a nice question. Actually, it was also Abbi helping me with this thing. We actually started out doing. It's some time ago, and I don't remember which the first 3 songs. But one of the first 3 songs we did was the version of Abbi's song, and he's doing the song Helulelule from Daudi Kabaka, which is also, as far as I'm informed, the most played song in the West. Back in the 60s, when it actually was released in Kenya, it became very big in London. Like the discotheques and the places in London, it was hip, you know. And then, I mean, so Abbi, he was really good in just saying, hey, come into my studio and sit down, have some time, have some tea, listen and try to, if you feel, do what you want. Feel free to do what you want. And that was very nice because then I could try just to, I don't know actually where the idea came from, to try to revive the Kenyan Zilizopendwas. I mean, who am I from Denmark to come and want to revive Kenyan Zilizopendwas? What is that? You know what I mean? What, a Kenyan, Danish, why is that? But for me, it wasn't really about that. I think for me, it was more about finding a way to now learn about Kenyan music. The rhythms, the tones, the tone of the different genres. For example, the kambas, what Kikuyu music, what is that? Other kind of genres. There are so many genres, right?
Yeah.
And then the contemporary music. You know, when I came, first person I saw here was Eric Renaina playing at the club. I can't remember the name of the club. K1.
K1. Oh yeah, K1.
My memory is
K1
not that
Clubhouse.
That's right.
Yeah.
K1 Clubhouse. I saw Eric Renaina. That's the first live musicians I saw, right? So I was like, as a musician, it's easier to try and dig into the music. I mean, try and do something from your point of view now, using those elements that you hear from, in my case, the Kenyan music, right?
Yeah.
But since I was also doing these old songs, it was it was like the treasure, the golden oldies of Kenyan music, right?
Yes.
I always have this kind of respect that I don't want to, for me it's not about reshaping and let's make this house version western, you know, Ibiza club version, you know. No, that was not it at all. For me it was like trying to find the groove, get into the music, you know. So when people hear my production of those old songs, I think I've tried to be very respectful to the original song. I haven't remixed I've actually just, in my humble opinion, trying to support what's already there with a more modern groove, or what you can say. And I'm a very groove-inspired producer, you know. I love groove in music, you know. So of course I put some groove to another twisted bit groove, but the original is still there. It fits. Those two grooves fit together.
I really see the picture because I know what you do to keep his music. I've heard keep his music when he's doing it, and I know when it's been sent to you in Denmark, and we hear the version that comes back. It's like,
I'm glad.
Boah. You know, like mad respect to good ass producers, and if anything, why we make sense of life and reality, and why we're making sense of the beat is also to showcase and to highlight and to also promote music and music players, music industry players, producers, artists, and everybody in between. So for this one, I really wanted to put out that you can actually send your music out to Denmark, have it mixed, have it mastered, comes back, this feels so different. And Claus does that. So to increasing to the quality of production in music, because that's a very key thing, because
It is.
music is, like Bien said, music is like a property. You need to do value addition to your property for it to give you maximum output.
Yeah, also that, but also to really put the best effort into what you're creating. I mean, because
Quality.
yes, quality, but also like
Whatever you do.
trusting your own product. I mean,
Expression.
invest in yourself and invest in your art.
Okay.
Because there are many players out there, many good ones. I mean, just look to America or some of those places where the music industry is vast.
For sure.
Big studios,
It's
good players.
It's serious business.
It's serious business, and that's really what we are fighting against. You can say, maybe. I mean, the whole African industry is something else, and it's growing, and they say it's probably going to be the biggest within 10 years or 20 years. And I believe that that's a big possibility.
Would you remember the different masterpieces you've done? Just to mention them for the...
For the Zilizopendwas,
Yes.
I can mention a few of them. I will start with myself. I've actually done Malaika
Awesome.
in a reggae-ish feel, but not reggae, but reggae-ish feel kind of.
The groovy thing that she was talking about.
Yeah, it's that groove thing I put it, and it's yeah. And then I've done, of course, Abbi's Helulelule. I've did the Pulemusa with also Dr. Kebaka. That was Kibi and Vicky.
Okay.
You will actually find YouTube. On YouTube, you'll find the video.
For sure.
It's the only video we have released so far, and it's done some years ago.
Yeah.
Because we are now trying to. We try to bring it out now.
Okay.
It's been a long journey. Sometimes making art is not always like fast.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes years to do.
For sure.
But that's just how it is. And now we're going to release it. And we have Combo also. Combo Burns, who is a guitarist
Instrumentalist.
extraordinaire.
Okay. I've been in the studio and
Yes.
he brings the combo.
He brings the combo, for sure.
The whole combo.
He's doing Kwanini Waleta Wiwu. You know that song? Kwanini Waleta Wiwu. We have, but we have so many good ones. We have Karubandika.
Oh, wow.
We have 10 songs actually
Yeah.
that we are going to release over the next couple of the next year, this coming year. They will come in a package. I'm doing now a release of compilations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing. If anything, I've gotten to appreciate with music, and especially now looking at it from the art side, from the music side, from the when is it right time to release time, and you come and realize how music can be such a process. One of Kibi's latest is Zeros and Ones, and man, the song hits. The song hits,
It's a beautiful song.
and he says he did that in such a long time ago.
Yes, I know that.
But when I'm sitting right now, you'll be like, you listen to it, you tell me, you can feel the 5-10 years ago feel of the music. But again, no, music is it cannot be stopped at such a time. Even when you call it the 80s, somebody will come and say, I just want to hear the 80s music right now. Right now in digital age, you can just go to YouTube and there's a whole 80s classic playlist that you want to play for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. So there's nothing as such. There's nothing like music just dying out here.
No, in that sense, time has, or those platforms, the digital platforms, have now preserved that for us. So we don't have to go in some small shop out somewhere and find an old record to get that piece of music. You can actually access the whole thing digitally, or most of it, right?
No, for sure.
That's nice. That's very nice.
Man, that's such a... gives you... Can you imagine you had to go to Ghana for you to feel what African music is like? And then you... By the time... And then you get a Kenyan to tell you Kenya is not like that. It's not like this. I'm also shocked. So for this, you get to appreciate that now you can just sit down and get to know Ghanaian music, this music, that music, this place. Just take photos, look at videos of other different places. Wow.
Come, Emily, there she is. We're just talking about you. Sorry. Welcome, it.
We have to acknowledge the wife introducing Kenya to Denmark. And, the headphones, crazy. Studio microphone, crazy. Look up, crazy. Guitar, crazy. Bass, crazy. So no, blessed. Listen out to upgrading. Actually now that's the best of your interaction of Denmark being able to Kenya to be able to go to Denmark and for collaboration. We're showcasing and highlighting for that, for us to bring out the best of ourselves so that we can collaborate from that kind of level and definitely elevate.
I mean, that's a whole section in itself, what you just said. It is because just also, I mean, we talked about cultural differences in my experiences in Ghana and stuff like that. There's also cultural differences here. The main thing in Ghana was I had teachers. I was a student. So they say, play this, and I had to play it, or dance this thing, and I did. But here, it was not a student-teacher relationship with Abbi, for example, right? Or it was in some cases, of course, but we didn't have that thing going on. So it was more the now I'm used to a certain way of communicating with musicians. In Denmark, you're one track.
And you've been doing this for life.
I mean, at least we are communicating a lot alike. So also in music, we're taught the same way, more or less, and we know how to communicate and all these kind of things. Coming to another country's culture, and then culture in music, about how creating, about the thoughts about music, that whole thing is very different. I mean, just to actually, it's even in communication. Before we can really communicate, we actually have to communicate.
It's a whole process.
You have to learn, or I had to learn, when, for example, Abbi or somebody else is saying something about the music. I hear it in one way because I have my way I learned in Denmark. But maybe that's not at all what he's saying or she's saying to me. It could be something completely different from their perspective. So I have to find out, okay, how do my friends musicians here in Kenya, at least Combo also, how do they communicate about music? And it actually took some time to, and we were I have some old video actually from it, where me and Combo meet first time, and we are very polite to each other. We don't want to step on each other's toes, because both of us can feel like we're both good musicians and all these, but we communicate a bit different about it. So to be able to making music, you actually have to have a language, right? So we have to establish now a language. I had to establish a different language. But sometimes if I tell people in Denmark what Kenyans have said to me in the process of making music, it's like,
And you're like, what?
they're like, okay, so how did you? I mean, somebody could say, I want this chorus to be more purple. Describing something, I'm like, that's maybe bad, but it could be something like that, where I'm like, okay, I have to understand what do they mean, because it's not because they're crazy, it's because they're talking from another perspective of music, Could be talking about, I mean, here there's a lot of, and also in Ghana actually, music was traditionally seen upon as holy, you could say, like, or sacred. It contains energy. Some would say magic, and that whole perspective of music, it's not really predominant in Denmark. It's often a technical approach that you now, of course, musicians who have done it for many years, they know this, but the general society feeling of it, it's music, it's well made, and this is a good singer, good guitarist, very talented. But the deeper magical properties, the sacred properties of music is not talked about. And that's the thing I found out coming to Ghana and to Kenya, that people here are acknowledging so much more that there's power in music. I mean, there's a great deal of power in music, right? So that's one of the things I had to change my whole perspective talking, because again, communicating with people who believe that, or who knows that there's power in music. You have to be very delicate about how you communicate.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's a big learning curve in learning other cultures' music. It starts with conversation, actually.
Yeah.
Getting to know the person, how are they responding to certain things.
So, where do you get your groove from? Because, as you say, coming from Denmark, so you can see the technical side of it, right? So, where does your groove come from?
That's a very good question. I think it's because, how can you call it? I think because my parents had a record collection, and most of it was actually Black American music. Funnily enough, my dad is a big lover of Black American soul music from the 50s and the 60s. Little Richard, all those cats back then, He loved that. Stevie Wonder and all kind of things. Four Tops. All of those old bands, and he bought the record because he was a hairdresser at Sweden American. What do you call it? It's a big. It's a cruise ship that goes around the world. So he worked there as a hairdresser on that ship. So he went around the world, and when he went to different countries, he picked albums. Especially when he was in the States, So when I grew up, I had a lot of the old classic soul from America,
Yeah.
And I think that's where I got the love for this kind of music. Groove, soul, funk, reggae, all these things. And now bleeding into African music, because it was later that I realized, all the music that I'm listening to has a history. It actually comes from African music, right?
That is for sure. Come out to me, the roots still Africa.
The roots are still Africa, and you listen back through the music that has developed, the jazz is where it comes from, blues, it all comes from Africa. So I knew, or that was just, there was the grooves I when I was kid was like, wow, this is
and that is crazy because now in my mind now I'm like, but again, you've done music in school. You've done music.
Yes.
From a young age?
Yes, actually in our school system back then, we had music classes.
No.
You know, and we had a whole music room, and they call it rhythmic classes. So you're 5-6 years and you sit there, you have a clave or you have something to shaker or something to the teacher's playing, and now everybody is joining into the chorus and ching chong, you know, but you get some rhythm into the kids, you know, which is very good.
Now, even just with that, can you mark out, because for me what I'm saying is you really exposed from young age, because you see you listen to jazz, all the rest, and I'm imagining as kids are going to school, you have these kids and we have Klaus, and there's Klaus and there's all that kids. I'm imagining you can still say like, hey, Klaus is a little bit different, and you wonder, wow, how is Klaus now based on Klaus is done. Should sit in record collection. You understand why Klaus is like this in class. Can you really point that out?
I think so. I mean, because I also remember when I was younger, the music that I listened to, some of my friends thought it was that's a bit strange music. It's like old music, like parents me. Why are you not listening to what we are listening to, the more contemporary? You know? So in that sense, I was. But I mean, I early fall in love with music, and I found out you can't resist it. When I was young in Denmark, that was my feeling, that you belonged to a group, a certain subgroup, and you didn't listen to other music, because it was like, oh, I don't like this, I listen to this kind of music. And if people found out that you were listening to this other kind of music, are you listening to rock? What kind of person are you? So for many years there was certain things that I was listening to only at home, because I didn't want people to know that I was listening to these things. Later on I found out, okay, that's completely ridiculous. Everything is sound.
One of the bigger goals about even making sense is expanding your knowledge, mostly that, expanding your knowledge because your mindset, your perspective, and especially with perspective, you're only seeing this, you expand it to this view, like, I can see that in this one view, but now you're going, having a 360 view because of good knowledge, better knowledge.
Yeah, but also as a producer, right, and a professional music, I can see that a lot of people, they listen to what they always listen to. They put on the same albums. Maybe they have 50 albums. They listen to the same albums because and I do that myself. I mean, I can say an album like Off the Wall with Michael Jackson. I had 2 vinyl albums and I wore them both out because I played that. I mean, they were scratched and they were I couldn't play them anymore. So I could, but there was so much scratch and they were worn out. 2 vinyls because I think I heard it 4 to 5 hours a day, every day in a 10-year period. I also listened to other music in that period, but Off the Wall with Michael Jackson, that album, it was running at least for 4 to 5 hours every day for 10 years.
As you're saying that, going on that point of, we always go back to our music. As much as you can be listening to other music, even in a day, I take this back to as your wife came in, having a short break. I'm imagining just our view of how, as much as we advocate for traveling, yes, you get tired of where you normally are, you travel outside the world, but again, you'll always have the feeling of coming back home. Or even as you're out there having the home feel.
Yeah.
Will always
There's a safe feeling. There's a safe feeling in recognizing, music and other things.
Sound just like the music. I was listening to my Spotify and I think the day before yesterday, and I was hitting. I was just looking at the people who are subscribed to, and I'm like, man, I've not listened to this music for some time. And you look at it, it's 2019. It's all 2026. That was like 7 years ago. And you listen, as I was listening to all the albums, because now when you do that, I'm an album person. Listen to the album. Yes. I go to the next person, finish the album, go to the next person, do their whole album. And it was so interesting that, you feel our music like it's that time, it's not now. And
I use music like that myself. I mean, if I'm in a very bad mood, there are some Stevie Wonder songs I can put on and my mood will change. I know it's like a pill almost, right? I put it on and my mood changes. So he really saved me for a lot of bad.
Making sense of the beat, you underlined why. Even give me the push to even do the first episode. I was like, why should I do this? And then, having that kind of mood, and then you put the music and get into it. By song 2, before even it ends, you're like, this is why. This is why, because exactly.
That's the magic that's inside music.
You might be off and then it gets you on to what you're supposed to be actually even doing.
Yes.
That's why you're even going back to the studies that you're talking about in Ghana, is where music is considered sacred. Because of the
right. But I'm very serious about music actually. I mean, when I start writing or when I engage in music in any kind of form, I'm very serious about it.
Let's see, what gives you that?
Because I feel the sacred thing in music, and it shouldn't be taken. I mean, of course, kids and other things, it's a play game, but when you dig into music and learn about it, I think you should take it serious because you're creating sound, and as we know, sound is what created it all. So we know that sound creates reality. So we're actually deliberately creating sound, like we producers and musicians do. Like now, we work on that thing until we feel like it's carved out the way we want it, so we can now present it to somebody. That's deliberate magic, and you have to take that serious. I think.
And that's that art. You said carve. Have you not seen it?
Sculptures.
Sculpture. Thank you. Sculptures. And wow, actually, yes, you are sculpting sound.
We are, as producers, musicians, singers, all this kind of thing, we're producing sound all the time, right? And a lot of people don't think that it matters really. And that's the thing, right?
You don't think, but you should see how it matters. Because all those people, I really want to know one person who doesn't listen to music.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to know.
And the effect that it has on them,
any
we talked
person
about before.
Who doesn't listen to music? Come on to me, gospel, rock, traditional.
Yes. And that's also why I now, later in my years, I like to experience new music, because I know I can always go back to Michael Jackson Off the Wall.
Yes.
I can always there.
For sure.
And sometimes I still do, because I love that album, But I'm so more now interested in new or old songs that I haven't heard, old music I haven't heard, all kind of music that I haven't heard, Because it opens up, it opens up my perception of the whole game, the more people are expressing themselves through music, yeah.
For sure. And I appreciate, even just from the perspective of just being a producer, is you see music very differently. Compared to an accountant, compared to a driver, compared to a normal listener, as a producer, as somebody who studied music, your awareness is really not our awareness. And definitely now with that is where we can even get to appreciate, because the producer exposes himself, get into a place of sound, to a place of appreciating what was there before, got to make their own new sound, got to learn more sounds, and continue creating more sound. And you see, it's a whole study. So even now, after all this is why and how we can get quality music that even when you get to produce, even when you get to let another artist come and they say they want this and that and that, you can hear it, you can see it, and even be like, Kalapapo, you interpret it, then you give them the vision that they had in the first place, and they hear it and they're like,
Yes.
that's what I wanted. That's even better.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I love that. I mean,
sure.
that when that happens, I'm just, oof.
Another one.
I wrote a whole song for a country album that I'm releasing also. And I had this very, very talented Danish guitarist play on it, right?
Yeah.
His name is Jonas Krav. He's a big gun. And he plays fantastic. He played now this slide steel guitar, right? Or this pedal steel is actually called, pedal steel guitar. And then when he played it, and then he played it in his own studio, and then he sent it to me, right? So I could now add it to the song.
Yeah.
He played so nice and so good that I was like, shit, he stole my song and made it his. Now I have to rearrange the whole track to what he played, because he was like, oh, that's your song, let me show you how this song is played. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh yeah, I see. Now, thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Oh man.
But he lifted my song
Yeah.
up, you know. So that was really like, wow. I like working with people like that.
Yunupa said a song worked on, in a room, and a song goes through with more people in the room, that song will never come out the same it went in. So even with this one, and I think something also about just what producers do, somebody seeing your vision and delivering it out, and then you're just like, you need producers. You cannot just buy a beat, put your vocals on it, and send it out to compete, because there are many players, as you say.
No, there's many who does that, and there's many who does that, and I will not say that that's not possible, because it is possible to get a hit like that.
For sure.
I'll just advise everybody to be very careful with what they release, because it's magic we're doing in some form. It's sound, and sound creates reality. We know, huh? It even started like that. I think so.
For sure. I think the book says so.
I read it, so from now on I'll take it as.
It is. That is what happened. You've worked with Kenyan heavyweights and rising stars. Do you think the Kenyan sound is actually indefinible to a European ear, or is it still being discovered?
In many ways, I still think it's being discovered. What is going on and has been going on the last maybe 10 years, right, in international music is the West African and a lot of the Nigerians. Nigerian, that whole thing. But a lot of the Nigerian style really took over also a lot of the American mainstream, where now mainstream artists from America is doing Afrobeat, right?
Oh, for sure.
So they really started the African takeover of the music industry in many ways, if that's what's going to happen. And some are predicting that, right?
Sure.
So I think guys like Sauti Sol has definitely, while we talk about carving stuff out, they really carved their sound, refined it, and I mean, you can see those guys, they take it serious.
For sure.
I mean, not just because there's money in it, because of the music. They take the music serious, and they think about what they're doing, you know. And I think that's helping now carving out the Kenyan sound. They have been carving out the Kenyan sound, and will continue to do so, I think, in their many now flourishing ways.
Yes.
But people coming after that also are now defining the Kenyan sound. What is that thing, you know? I can hear it because I've come here for so many years. And
you're Kenyan right now. Really.
So I'll recognize it almost anywhere that, or at least also East African, you know, Ethiopian, and there's these different styles, you know.
Hey, that's Ghanaian. That's Ghanaian. Ghanaian. Can you imagine how many Danish people will do that? You are at least we can say you're one of them. But again, how many more? We don't know, but you're one of them.
You know, a lot of people ask me when they hear our African track or something like, where they, oh, that's African. Do you know where it's from? They'll ask me, you know. You know what? Is it South African? Or what is it? Is it Kenyan? Is it Kenyan? And I'll be like, maybe I don't know.
You become an African library.
They could live in London. I don't know.
Oh man, but that's so good. That's so good. As you said, it's still business covered, but to those who know, they know. And at the end of the day, I can imagine if every day is a learning day. How much do you know? How much more do we have to know? You know. So,
yeah, as much as we want to, but I can hear and I can see that the Kenyan music industry is growing big in many ways. I mean, there's so much beautiful music here and so many new things coming out. Fresh and a whole new take on things.
For sure.
And Kenyans are so diverse, you know, just look at all the memes that Kenyans get going on about Kenyans. You know? So I think something is going to happen with that, I think. I hope maybe it's me who will be the one who now gets a Kenyan artist out on the big international scene, you know. Bless it.
Because you're already doing it. Can you imagine with just the production, with just your words, with the few people you've already worked with? You know, we already have Zilizopendwa hits. We have Abbi, we have QB, we have all the other artists that you've met along the way. Mm-hmm. To even this visit, definitely, but you've still added the list to whatever you have,
yes.
You know, of artists you've met. So definitely, it's we're moving forward, as we were saying before. You know, as human beings, we'll always find better and better ways to do this. Once you make sense of something, you'll refine it, and definitely you'll become finer and finer.
Yes.
And yes, that's where we're headed.
And it applies to everything, not only music, right?
For sure. You've spent a lot of time visiting, but you've clearly become part of the family here. What do you think Kenyan producers can learn from the Danish industry and vice versa?
Oh, there's many things to learn on both sides, I think. That's also a very big question, but because I can only talk from my experiences. But in Denmark, we are very time planners. So we agree from here to here, we do music. And then we go home after that, and we are on time, and all these kind of things. Where here I met a more spiritual entrance to music, you know, and to creating music. So I would say, from my side of things, patience have been good for me.
Oh no, you've learned about African time, and that's a very clear time. But then somebody tells you you'll be here 3. African time or American time or English time, because those are 2 different times. So
those are 2 different times.
You've learned that already.
I've learned it, but I've also been initiated in how come it's like that traditionally.
Please let us know.
That's what I've been told from my Kenyan friends, you know.
Yeah.
So let me know if they're telling something wrong. No, what basically is the story, as I remember it, is Kenyans go with the sun, basically. Right? They get up when the sun gets up, and then you have like, I think it's 2 or 3 points, like anchors through the day. Sun rises, there's breakfast, if you take that. Mm-hmm. Then the next anchor is lunch, somewhere midday. And the next anchor is dinner. And what goes on time-wise between those things, it's like we'll meet around lunch or we'll meet around dinner. That can be 2 hours before, 2 hours after. You know, it's fluent. There's only these 3 points during the day and then the sun sets. That's the explanation that I got. Traditionally, I mean, way before we even had arm clocks and all that kind of thing, you're going by the sun. Huh? I need to get home now because I know the sun is here. And blah, blah, blah. And if I meet somebody on the way, that's another thing. We can chat for long. Even though I have an appointment on the other end, we can chat for long because I met you along the way. And it's also, what I was told, disrespectful to just say, just go on, I have an appointment, right? So you stay and you talk, of course, because you're respectful of the other person. That whole thing doesn't exist in Denmark. It's like, we agreed at 4 o'clock, so 10 minutes past 4, I'm like, hello, where are you? I mean, we had an appointment at 4, where are you? He's like, yeah, I'm almost there. Okay, so if you go 10 minutes more, I'm about to leave. I don't want to wait for that. You're wasting my time, you know, that thing. So you see, that whole thing is definitely, because it's that just has to do about time. People have to also, in my opinion, relax, because I like the Kenyan approach also. It's about mindset. It's about mindset, and it's about things take time. You know, you can't produce a strong cheese in 2 days. It takes time. It needs to be on the shelf for maybe 3 months before it gets that cheesy goodness, you know.
For sure.
You can't push that. So that's another way of looking at life, that certain things that are good takes time. And you need just to acknowledge that, hey, I'm learning along the way.
These are strong lessons, my brother.
Oh, this is just differences that I hope people will realize, changing cultures or trying to initiate with other cultures, that I can't impose my own cultural rules or cultural dogmas on other cultures. I have to first find out what are the reasons why people do as they do. There's often a logical reason.
Oh, for sure. Oh, man, and that's why you make sense. You know, make sense of the beat, make sense of life and reality. Because after that, you like, before you are like, what? You give them, oh.
Exactly. You get more humble in future situations because you don't want to be that guy or that one person going in and say, hey, why is this not working? I mean, I know how to, or we can do this different. You don't want to be that person. You rather want to be the person that finds out, okay, what's actually going on here? Am I even a part of it? Do I even have a say here, or should I just follow?
Even just learn what happens here, and then you're like, oh, there's no part for me here. Or
my part is just observing and helping if help is needed or anything, but being the one who says, let me fix this situation. It's not very rarely the good solution.
Man, because can you imagine if you say that this is the solution, you gotta do this, you see everything. Then you're like, how do you take responsibility after that? How do you... Now you have something to fix now.
Now you have something to fix.
Oh Lord, now it's a long route. So at times I'm like, and again, at times it's just the way, it's just the process. It's just where you caught up, and two other times I usually feel, you know what, taking your route, you will know if it was good or it was bad, and you will always try and get out of it if you're smart, because again, it's about, I think with even human survival, it's always been about Not good. Stop.
Yeah.
Good. You're going this way. So again, with that, definitely, we'll go towards better and better ways.
Yes.
So, what brings you back this time to Kenya? Is there new projects on the horizon?
Yes, there is. I mean, of course, I also have my family here, my wife's family, all my brothers and my sisters, my parents here. And it's it's very important to be with that because we have short time here. So main purpose is visiting family and stuff like that, friends, family. But new projects, actually I'm releasing now a compilation of my works here in the last 18, almost 20 years.
Awesome.
Yes, I've been doing many projects, many songs and many things that has been released. Some have been released, some has not been released. So now I'm compiling it all into albums under the name Mango Pop.
Wow. Mango Pop. Right now it's mango season. I hope you've eaten some mangoes in Kenya?
Yes.
Hey.
The sweetest thing. Ooh.
So you can do you feel the album? Do you feel the mango pop in the mangoes?
Yes, I do.
Is that what you're bringing for us?
I hope it will be received like that, But at least it's a journey through my musical journey in Kenya, and there's many nice artists and tracks and all these kind of things from previous albums from my wife and from Abbi, from Kipi, from all the old Zilizopendwas I've been producing so far. More will come. New projects. We're also doing a country project. Yeah.
I've had the first track. I'm like, it is about time.
That's it's about time.
It's about time.
And it's very interesting. So many new projects are coming. The journey will continue.
The stew is continuing to cook.
Exactly.
Can you imagine the boy who just was listening to his dad's records ever since he was like 5, 6, not even before that, because the dad just had some jazz, and now he's a guy gone through to Ghana to study music. Come to Kenya. So, and then you can hear the songs that have been from that time, they're still being cooked. And so you can imagine how the musical journey, musical process of, some music tracks, and you're like, yo,
yes,
that is, I can only be very anticipant.
I'm glad you say so, and I'm also very happy and anticipating hopefully good things when I release it, because there's so many unreleased tracks that people haven't heard with artists that they probably know of. Probably some of their favorite artists is there, and it will be new songs. So watch out for Mango Pop. It will be coming out first volume very soon.
Awesome. Bless her.
Thank you very much.
What is the biggest stage you've performed on, and what is the simplest stage you have performed on, and how has the journey been transitioning through the stages?
The smallest, I don't know, but very small. Very small. Almost no audience. It happens once in a while, but especially in the beginning, right, when you are starting out now doing live gigs. Sure. The first couple of gigs is not so well visited and stuff like that.
You still have to go through that.
Yes, of course. I mean, and it's not even about that. It's about being on stage, doing your thing. Not really in the beginning, maybe thinking of how many audiences there. It's about you now, exposing yourself also, right?
For sure. Do you feel like that's usually a process, like getting yourself out there? Because there's you in the house, you in the shower.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
And then there's you get to stage and then
yes, it's completely different.
He's not that confident.
That's a psychology lesson in itself.
For sure.
It is for everybody who stands on a stage, right?
Yeah.
You need to be that one who's relaxed and be cool about it, basically, right?
For sure.
So that's the trouble, but that's a lesson to learn. But the biggest stage I played on, I think it was in Copenhagen for 35,000 people.
Awesome.
Yes, that was very nice. I was actually backing another artist.
Yeah.
It's a big stage. Been playing some pretty big, because I was earlier, I was singing backup for bigger Danish artists.
Okay.
So I've been touring with different artists there, and stuff like that. I don't do that as much anymore. It happens, but I'm now doing my own thing more.
You're more in the production.
I'm on the production, yeah. I also
Sure.
perform occasionally,
Okay.
but I'm more on the production side of things now.
My God, just for us to know, at least we won't be saying, you don't know any Danish artists. So help us, give us like 5, so at least from this podcast, at least somebody can pick some few names and expand their musical,
For just the music in general?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Danish artists, especially like
Danish artists.
Danish artists, yeah.
Okay.
Give me 5 of them.
Now, one of the big artists we have is a guy called JJ Paolo.
Okay.
He's actually a guy from Uganda.
Awesome.
Who has made it big in Copenhagen and in Denmark for playing African music.
Awesome.
That's very nice. He's worth a listen because he's very good energetic stuff. Then we have a band called we have a rapper performer called Benjamin Hav. HAV is his last name. And he has I can't remember the band, I think they call the Orchestra or something like that. No, I can't remember. But they're doing very good stuff. They have groovy, like I like it. Groovy stuff. And it's a big band, they're like, I think they're 15 or something like that on stage.
Okay.
So it's also a big orchestra,
For sure.
And then on the pop side of things, we have, the guy I performed with is a guy called Burhan G. He is...
Spell that out.
Burhan. Burhan -G.
Okay.
Burhan G. I think the guy's actually a Turkish guy who grew up in Denmark,
Okay.
But he's a big pop artist, a very good singer and producer and stuff like that.
Awesome.
That was the guy I was performing with many years. When I started backing bigger artists, he was the first guy I initiated with, and I was employed by him for 4 years.
How is it being a backup artist? What is your experience? What did you get to learn?
As a backup singer, of course, it's you are doing the BGVs that from his album or stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Backing the artist like that.
Okay.
So is it being a part of the band? And,
For sure.
And going around, experiencing all the nice things, getting paid while you do it.
Oh, for sure.
And with bigger artists, of course, they have bigger jobs. They get nice TV jobs and other kinds like that. So of course I tried to move around in those circles, which is nice. It's always nice.
For sure.
Then at some point I started releasing. I wanted to stand on my own legs as an artist, so I started releasing. I quit those kind of jobs to now project myself.
Yeah, and I think it's just the process of life. You grow as you're growing up, as you're growing through life. You get to a place where you're students. From a student, definitely you cannot just go straight to the job market. Even in the job market, you start as an intern.
It's a good thing, but it's a good thing to go that way to learn stuff, right? But sometimes, if you have, at some point, if you have to be if you want to be a solo artist, you have to take that step and say, okay, now it's about me.
For sure. And those one things, I think it's just a normal in life. While we're making sense of stuff, while you're making sense of life and reality, is at times you see the patterns of life, and then you're like, you're not always undone by new information, by looking at life, and then you're like, hey, no, this I don't recognize it now. You become very unstable. It's just learning that life has so many things, and like, one of the things you need to make sense of is life is dynamic.
For sure. No, you're right. It's very dynamic, and certain points call for certain times call for certain things,
Yeah, and even with this now, even just going back to Sauti Sol is a group, but again, even they're all elevated to be on different levels.
Different levels.
Different paths.
Yes.
As much as they're still together, everybody's still now doing their individual things.
Yes. And taking it serious,
Oh.
You can feel the whole vibe, that it's very, I mean, it's fun and games and music and all these kind of things. But they are very serious about their craft. And I think also that's why their music penetrates, because it's the magic that you can't explain, but it's because they take it. I don't know. That's what I hear when I listen to them.
Yeah.
They take it serious what they do. It can be a fun song, it can be all kind of things. But there's a seriousness to doing it, also to execute in the level that they are executing. You can't just diddle around,
For sure. Man, that is dope. Even can imagine from a producer's ear, you can hear that, and that is.
Because I know what it takes to get to that level.
Oh.
So I can hear that these guys are not just fooling around. They have set themselves a goal.
Yeah.
And they are achieving it. So.
As we're making sense of the beat, that's what we're going for.
Yeah, always.
Before we let you go, what are you looking forward to in 2026?
In 2026, I'm always looking to make more music.
For sure.
If possible. Within the energy allowed and all these kind of things.
Definitely. I was told the other day, music doesn't have end time. You can still make music when you're 60, when you're 70.
Exactly.
As long when it hits you, you can do it.
And I feel like maybe I'm like that guy in the Asterix and Obelix. I fell into the pot of music, and now I just can't seem to get enough. Many has asked me, you've been doing this for 30, 35 years or more. Do you ever feel like doing something else, like say, okay, now I tried music. I'm going to go paint or something like that. And I do feel, actually, for example, the urge for painting pictures or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. But when the time comes, I always seem like picking the music studio, which tells me
instead of the painting studio.
Yeah,
because they're all studios.
Exactly, but now it tells me that for somehow after 35 years, I'm still not done with making music, because that's where I gravitate. So I think I'll be doing that. My wish is to do it even more. Actually,
for sure.
I also want to do other things, of course, and then always learning as a human, becoming a better person. I think that's my main goal: becoming a better person and to continue what I'm doing to give the music love.
Man, this is a music pattern. Huh? Just hits that test and it just comes back. Hey, 99.9% music.
It's one of those. It's one of those.
Yes, sir. Man, thank you for helping us make sense of the beats. But again, I got a quick fire round, because of the global groove. So, Nairobi or Copenhagen for a night out?
Nairobi.
Ugali or Danish smørrebrød?
Oh.
How do you say that?
Smørrebrød.
Say?
Smørrebrød.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. It'll take some time, but I also have some Kenyan ones that I'm still struggling with, so that's okay.
Now you're expanding. When you expand, you cannot say, I know. I'm like, say that. My Kenyan people. Say that to the first guy.
But on that one, I'll have to pick that one, smørrebrød.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, how is it made?
It's basically a rye bread, sliced, right? It's filled with corn and not corn. It's filled with the seeds from rye and other sorts. It's very healthy.
Okay.
And you basically take a piece of that dark bread, butter on it, and then we have different things we put on. Could be herring, for example, marinated herring. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people from outside can have difficulties with the Danish cuisine, especially those smørrebrød. But my wife, she loves it now.
Awesome.
Yeah. You know, there's a lot of Muzungus who also don't eat ugali.
Okay.
They don't take ugali.
And I told him, man, he's Kenyan.
But I love it actually. I think it's very nice.
Awesome. Nyamachowa. Awesome.
Kachumbari. Skuma.
Done. The Kenyan artist you're currently obsessed with.
That was hard. I don't think I'm obsessed with any artists actually.
Oh, okay.
I'm not obsessed.
Okay, maybe
Maybe that's
obsessed
the
is
wrong
not
word.
the word.
Maybe it's a hard.
So it's a very strong.
It's a very strong word. Yeah.
Okay. Which Kenyan artists are you grooving with?
Kenyan.
Yeah. Or the music that you're.
Wow. I mean, actually, listening to some of the good sir Yulopa Ngoma.
Oh.
Listening to some of his, I listened to his recent EP he did.
Okay.
Oof. Some nice stuff, and the guy is a brilliant songwriter actually. Also, so I would say Yulopa. The recent I've heard of Kenyan music, like where I was actually listening concentrated, was Yulopa stuff, and it's some very nice stuff. The guy is very talented.
That is so amazing because Zilizopendwa was my previous guest.
I know. I spoke with him about it.
Bless her.
We have some things to talk about.
Bless her. No? Sub-Sahara Studios doing their thing. How do you spoke to
Sub-Sahara?
To Sub-Sahara, yes. So, I think from your other days, Sub-Sahara,
I've come to Sub-Sahara Studios for the longest time. You know, I know people there and I love the place. So in that respect to them, for also giving the possibility of magic to happen.
For sure. Yeah, blessing. No, you had magical moments of Sub-Sahara, so homage to one of the oldest studios in the country. For sure. One word to describe the future of African music in Europe.
Oh, big, huge. That was two, I know.
Why not? I hope you see that. The big and the huge.
But there's already there. It's already there. It's already going on.
Yeah.
But like I also see with the American artists and other artists, a lot of them are now taking the Africa. Since it's the Nigerians who are right now pushing the metal, a lot of artists are adopting that sound and now doing Danish tracks on top.
Bless it. You see, you're just raising the bar higher and higher and higher. All the artists will get to see this.
And the sharing of cultures and music like that, I think that is very important for the way forward for this world. That we communicate in all kinds of ways, of course verbally, but also in music, in art, in everything. But that the communication has to be open and respectful, and on both sides have to be patient. Because we are different cultures, so we have to keep on talking and communicating with that thing in mind. It will lift all of us.
I love Living Sunday. I always go back to the scripture and to the preaching of the day. And goes on today, we listen to the Billy Graham classics. And we're just talking about what love is, this thing, love your neighbor, yourself. He's talking about how the world is one big village, and your neighbor is not that you can be black person, you can be white person, you be Chinese, Latin America, and I think he said it more or less close to that lineup. How he said it, and you say, love your neighbor. As you love yourself. And your neighbor doesn't have to be of your same religion, of your same culture, of your same. But you should love your neighbor as you love yourself. So you just
At least be open for the possibility of love.
yeah.
Because sometimes people are so afraid of each other without any reason. That's also what I found with my cultural exchanges. That a lot of people are just afraid of the unknown. You don't know what they're afraid of. They just think it's so different from me. There must be something not right. But if you indulge yourself into actually communicating and finding out, being open and honest and respectful, often you get the biggest gift. For sure.
As I said before, whatever is good for me, I bet it's good for you. And then in the basics of stuff.
Yes.
So going to the basics is, I bet everybody wants good.
Yeah. That's right.
I bet everybody, nobody will want to be walking here and just simply hit you on the head with. Nah, I think for every human being, even if you did that to a kid,
Yes.
They look at you like, hey, you can see that, what the hell? From a kid who doesn't know what that is, So, so that usually really gives me the best perspective of, I don't think any person would do this to them and be like, hey, that's very good. No. Nobody, and with that it helps me understand of what I wouldn't want, I bet you don't want the same. And even going back to the family settings, you all understand love and what is right and what is wrong. Yeah, as I've said. And with that you come and see, if you can get to that level, you can come and see how to be respectful to each and every other human being, the next human being. And I hope that promotes against
and knowing that you don't know about other people's individual journey, or you don't know what people have gone through to be at the point where you meet them. So that's why I think the respect is extremely important, especially in cultural meetings, because you don't know what perspective other people are coming from, what they experienced, all kind of things.
be nice, be kind, memories last for a lifetime, make good time, why you even have to wear those first to give us principles, keep us in the street, because if you don't, there's always afterwards, this will affect you, that helps you to keep to the light, so that's what yep, let's not affect ourselves too much psychologically, because it always affects how we breathe our lives. So, to an amazing interview, to an amazing moment, and Claus, thank you for being a bridge. It's producers like you who remind us that while the beats might change across borders, the feeling remains the same. Thank you for having. I'm honored to have you, and as you travel back, I wish you journey masses, and you're going back to the cold weather. So bless, I say,
with a warm heart.
Yes, sir, blessed. And, from whatever from your whole Kenyan experience, definitely. I said you're one of the luckiest Danish perhaps now, because you're going to save all this history. As you go back to, actually you're saying it's about coldest winter.
Yeah,
it has been
in
for some time.
many years in Denmark.
So may your heart keep warm.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Santi Sana.